Hey, so today we are sitting here with Mr. Dana Outlaw, the Mayor of New Bern, North Carolina. So, Mr. Outlaw, can you give us some background about yourself and your areas of expertise?
I'm Dana Outlaw. I'm 65 years old. Graduated from East Carolina University back in 1976 with a business degree. And I've been in the appraising business, real estate appraising business. I'm a general appraiser, which means that we can appraise anything commercially or residential, and I've done that for 42 years now.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. What made you decide to be an entrepreneur? And you've already told me how long you've been in the business, so obviously you've been pretty successful with what you've been doing.
Okay, out of high school, I was what you would call I wasn't ready for college.
Okay.
And I went out to the community college for a year and a half and painted houses on the side.
Okay.
And 2 or 3 of the people I worked for were really successful business people. One had the largest, at that time, Maytag dealership in North Carolina, and he just he took an interest in me and told me a lot about business. And so I was thinking about getting an industrial technology degree at East Carolina, and I wound up going to East Carolina and getting a business degree because of a lot of folks I painted houses for that gave me a lot of ideas on business. And I just like the idea of the challenge.
Okay.
And, I've sold real estate. I had a Century 21 franchise for a while. I'm a general contractor. I've probably built 25 houses around New Bern.
Wow.
Most of what I've done is just real estate appraising.
Okay. What was or is the most important factor in building your brand? How do you create awareness about yourself, your products, your services?
My younger brother, he's 9 years younger. He also went to East Carolina and got a degree just like I did in real estate. And I told him when he would work with me, he trained under me. I said, you can work 4 days a week or you can work 6 days a week. You can't work 5 days a week. And he didn't understand that. And I said, if you think you're going to work 4 days and surf and play, you're going to have clients that you're not going to get their work out on time. You're not going to be punctual. When there's a correction needed, you're going to drag it out 2 or 3 days because you're, playing around with whatever recreational activities you have. And, in most businesses like accounting or real estate appraising, your clients need answers expeditiously.
Okay.
And so for that reason, you're going to be rewarded with a lot of work, which means you're going to be working 6 days a week.
Right.
But, rarely can you, in a service-related business, just set a Monday through Friday 8 to 5 job.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right. In relation to your overall goals, what matters more in building a successful venture? Would you say maximizing or maintaining wealth or maintaining control? And if this doesn't sound too clear, I'll specify a bit. We've been working in class through Noam Wasserman's book. It's called The Founder's Dilemmas. And it details very specifically several risks, whether unknown or known, that entrepreneurs typically run into. And one of the main issues that it talks about is when you initially start out to found your business, do you want to keep control of it by not having a partner? Or would you like to have a partner come in to, assess things, help you out, figure out what they can do for the business? But with that token, that you're not going to be able to maximize your wealth and your profits because you're going to have to split them. So I guess what sort of thinking do you have on that? Would you like a partner? Would you not like a partner? What's more important, having the control or the profits?
Yeah, that's great. And I didn't really study that. I mean, we were hooked on Adam Smith's invisible hand of the market, things like
Okay.
that. Elasticity, inelasticity, all those great things.
Okay.
But I love your question because I don't remember studying this.
Okay.
There's obviously benefits in both. I'm remiss that I don't have a partner because a lot of times I want to go on vacation.
That's interesting to know.
I don't have a partner.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, just as soon as you think you're called up where you can go off for 3 or 4 days, you'll have a major client that you're very accountable to because they reward you with a lot of work, and they'll have some emergency need, and you're always on guard that you're going to get this call. If I had a partner, that could that would eliminate that problem.
Okay.
The problem in a given business is different. Like CPAs, a lot of times they have a lot of partners. Attorneys have a lot of partners, but typically small shop real estate appraisers are one-person offices.
Okay.
And so I trained my niece. She's here in New Bern. I trained my brother. He's in Cary. They're both very successful, and they both work for me. But after a while, it was just like a lot of what you do is in the appraisal business, you work a lot at night. And now I have 4 children, and all 4 of my children are like, doesn't anybody want daddy's business? I've got this clientele base that I'll just hand you. That's called goodwill. And in a hamburger shop or a donut shop, that's a $25,000, $75,000 item,
right.
A goodwill. And don't you want it? And my kids would say, we don't want to work as hard as you work, Daddy. You worked, when we were growing up, you worked at night and you worked on Saturdays. And I tell them, and this is very important in business, if you're doing something you don't like, you're going to have a terrible career. I have never worked a day in my life.
Wow.
And I would say, obviously, you guys just don't like real estate appraising because I've essentially never worked. You guys thought I was working, but I was enjoying the challenge. I mean, that's like going skeet shooting or going surfing or something. They were playing golf. I love working. And
your response was so candid. I believe it.
Because I like to work,
Okay.
So it's very important, wherever you go with your degree or your education, if you go with all this information and education and you go into a field you don't like, I really feel sorry for you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, statistics show that businesses associated with friends and family members in various roles oftentimes fail or add additional unnecessary tensions over the course of the project. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, I very much agree.
Okay. Essentially, is it easier to hire staff who are fundamentally strangers, or would you rather fill in business roles with available family members and friends?
Oh, no. I would definitely objectively go out. And I tell young folks, a lot of people come into the mayor's office and I say, listen, I'm telling you right now, watch what you put on Twitter and Facebook, because employers do a lot of things that you don't know they're doing. The first thing they do, they go out in the parking lot and look at your car. If you got a broken antenna, if it looks like a storage unit.
Oh, wow. I've never heard this before.
If it's not been washed in 2 years.
Got you,
they're
right?
saying,
that says a lot about you.
I'm fixing to hire this person. I'm going to let them go in there and work on that $1 million widget I just got. And, I'm not going to let this person, however qualified they are, if that's the way they live, they're not coming in here going to ruin a piece of equipment.
Absolutely right. That's understandable. And that's perfect because it segues perfectly into our next and our last question, which was, again, with building that brand awareness, as you were talking about, you just kind of so eloquently put it that you really have to be careful about what you put on social media, any of those platforms. Do you have any other advice leading to business about building your brand or promoting your brand?
What folks don't really realize they're just getting out of college. Over there is my East Carolina album or annual. And when I was getting out of school, I went in one weekend and I sat there and went through that album and I put a note about everybody I knew, because I knew I would probably forget them. And part of my success in 42 years is the network that I never knew I had, that I got in school.
Okay.
So these folks they're gonna reciprocate with you, and they're gonna help you out, and you're gonna help them out going up the echelons of whatever industry. So you just absolutely don't have a clue how many folks are going to help you and influence you by the network. I hope that everybody watching this is making.
Okay.
Please network.
Absolutely. Well, that will bring me to my final question. How do you maintain business equilibrium? What are some business practices that facilitate you in doing so? Again, just to clarify more, in reading this book, it has taught us that there are so many variables behind being an entrepreneur, whether, the risks are known or unknown. What sort of advice can you give out to anyone in regards to how to maintain your business, how to maintain when something happens, those unknowns? How would you, sort of put up some kind of defense towards those things? How do you?
I don't know if this is the answer to your question, but
Okay.
I used to go into the bank, and I've gambled a lot, particularly on spec homes. And I've done some businesses. I've done portable storage. And I always walked into the bank and I said, here's the prospectus, here's the model on what I want to do. Please look it over. Do not loan me $1 if you're not sold on this. I need you as the banker to be sold on it if I'm going to be sold on it. Don't make me a loan just because I'll pay it back, because I can peg the investment to 2 or 3 other pieces of property I got as collateral. Do not loan me any money if you don't feel good, because the banks, all these bankers, they're the best source of a success of a given model that you might have. And when you walk into a bank and say, I want to open a restaurant, their anxiety level, their faces flushes, oh my God, a restaurant. But, so let me stop there and see if that kind of answered if that's not.
It does. Just sort of knowing what you're getting yourself into, it sounds like you can have, I guess, other ways of trying to stand whole. If anything comes your way, you can figure out, how you're going to fix this situation, what you're going to do about this particular situation.
And kind of finalize that question, I've always, in my career, looked at a lot of investments, and if the payout for the number of hours I've got to work to make that investment successful are not as good, if not better, than what I'm already doing, I'm not interested in, even though it might be profitable. So, you look at a given anything out there in the business community, and you say if it's a restaurant or if it's a joint venture or whatever, what's the payout? And the most important thing is like, I have young folks come in and we'll be talking, and they'll say, I'm fixing to buy a $50,000 piece of equipment, and I'm going to hire two folks here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, what is your background? What do you do? Oh, okay, well, I'm a CPA. I say, well, do you like being an accountant? No, I don't like. I want to do something different. Okay, well, let's think about it. What is your overhead, fixed and variable, in running that accounting office? Oh, I don't know. I got 2 $5,000 computers, and I got $500 a month rent. Okay. All right, this new thing you want to do, what's your indebtedness? Oh, I got to buy a $90,000 piece of this, a $50,000 piece of that. I got to train these people here, and I've got to have this relationship for this on that. And I'm like, okay, I know you don't like accounting now, but I mean, look at this. I mean, can you put up a tax season for 3 months and make $100,000 a year, or can you make 110 and owe $1.2 million? And know that tomorrow, as in the case, I had a friend got into the photo business, and when all of a sudden color printers came out, he was out of business in 6 months.
Wow.
And he had all that money on those pieces of equipment.
Okay. Well, are there any other tips that you'd like to give to entrepreneurs or anyone young or old deciding to step out and decide what they want to do to, gain their independence or their freedom when it comes to business?
Just don't be scared to fail. I had to go in one Friday I had to go in one Friday to a bank and borrow $300 on my Visa card to pay my secretary because I was too embarrassed that I didn't have enough money in the account to pay that girl's salary. And if I didn't pay her that Friday, I knew it would be all out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that Dana Outlaw, couldn't pay me on Friday because he didn't have enough money. So I went down and when I had to do that, that was a real wake-up call that I needed to either really reinvent this business or get out of it, and I got out of it.
Okay. You are the second person that I've talked to today who expressed those same sentiments, knowing when to get out of a business, having an exit strategy, and just primarily I'm understanding just having a plan. That's probably the first thing, having a plan and knowing what you're trying to do, knowing your impact. Again, the young lady who I spoke with earlier stressed the same sort of thing about her businesses, about families. You're paying other people. You're essentially taking care of someone's family. So being an entrepreneur does have certain burdens that can come with it, along with those rewards.
Yeah, and I always like to tell people in the business that ask me about business, I say, in real estate, I've been in a mini single wide trailer in long, narrow, 12, 14 foot wide, 60-foot long things. Every one of them has this door in the back that they never use because you open that door and about 3 feet down is the ground down there. And it's this exit door, it's this fire door. Everybody goes out the front door. Nobody ever uses that back door.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, well, you know why it's there?
Why?
To get out of it. To get out of it.
An easier way. Right, if you need to.
And any business you get into, you got to do what you just said. You got to have an exit strategy if that's not working. If the personalities are clashing, if the chemistry amongst employers is not working, if for any number of variable, I was in business in a time when the prime rate went up to 21.5% and a VA loan was 17%. And we couldn't sell any real estate. That was back about 1979. And my exit strategy was to sell that Century 21 franchise as quick as I could. And I went out for a year or two, and all I did was ride around in a little old Ford truck and remodel houses until the economy improved.
Okay.
And that's the other thing. Economies don't just boom improve. They gradually get bad and they gradually get better. It's not anything just overnight. The other thing I think is really important that seriously anybody with a business wants to get in business, watch the movie The Big Short. It was you need to watch it 3 times. First time.
The Big Short?
Yeah,
Okay.
First time you're trying to, Christian Bale, I believe's in it. The first time you're just trying to understand what happened, and it's all about Moody's and other ones that were overvaluing assets, and this guy knew the market was going to crash, so that movie, about the second time you're writing down acronyms you still didn't get from the first movie. And the third time, it's starting to flow what actually happened during that 2008 crunch.
Okay. Well, I will certainly check it out. Is there any more advice you'd like to give for any of the entrepreneurs out there? Because you have definitely said enough to, inspire some people out there. You've definitely told enough about your story where I'm certainly inspired. I didn't know some of the background that you gave me about you. And, I'm certainly ready to get myself into an entrepreneurship.
Oh, the only other thing I'd say is always dream big and keep educating yourself. I'm very remiss that I did not get an MBA. But at the time, I was either going to go get an MBA or get in the appraisal business. I took a lot of courses that are approved for an MBA in appraising. And I went to Dartmouth, University of Central Florida, University of North Carolina, University of College Park, Maryland, University of Georgia, and I would take these kind of graduate level appraisal courses, but not all of them would count toward an MBA. So I had to decide shortly into my career, was I going to go after an MBA, or was I, because I seemed to like appraising the best of what I was doing, should I concentrate on those courses? But always, continue to get education throughout life.
Okay, well, you guys have heard it here first. We are here again with Mr. Dana Outlaw, New Bern, North Carolina's mayor. Thank you again for your time.